I don't think this is an accident. I know others who have been targeted, and these are almost always people who have said something which goes against the grain of certain political interests. So if I may give you one example, a few weeks ago, an Iranian woman protester stripped down to her underwear. It was very covered all over the media. Very particular activists who are liberal activists for Iran, they have had their accounts suspended under the pornography guidelines of Meta, whereas the same photo of the woman in her underwear being detained is everywhere. It's on the BBC, it's all over the place. It cannot be a coincidence that the only people being targeted are liberal activists who got under the nerves of the Iranian or previously the Assad regimes.
It would appear to be that whatever the validity of these processes, they're now being used by political interests, by state actors and non-state actors, to target particular voices. So it seems as though agents of the Islamic Republic of Iran, and others perhaps, are deliberately setting out to silence critical, opposition, independent, liberal voices.
That is correct. Look, I've been a journalist, as you know, for more than 30 years. In that entire time, I've never actually been asked to make a correction. I've never been threatened with libel. I'm very, very careful as to what I say and write. When I'm asked occasionally to go on a TV interview about a subject which I'm not an expert on, like, for example, I was asked to comment on Hong Kong and another time on Kashmir, I declined that because I only want to write and give interviews about subjects I am, confidently familiar about. So there is no doubt that Meta are being used, possibly at a lower level, but the higher ups need to squash it. And I've done some research since yesterday, and also friends of mine have sent articles, including from liberal publications. So, for example, if people want to Google a piece from NPR, National Public Radio, which is the American equivalent of the BBC up to a point, from this August 2024, about Meta. It's like Meta in Iran hacking. They can Google it. Another example is from Forbes magazine in 2022 in November. The headline is Instagram censoring influencers who support Iranian protesters. That would be the pro-women's rights protesters. Again, Forbes magazine, this isn't some right-wing anti-Iranian things. NPR, Forbes magazine. If you look at the Washington Institute, which is a very respected think tank in Washington, they've also done a policy paper. It's headed How Iran-Backed Groups Control Arabic Language Sphere, in the case of the Arabic one. But there are other cases where there's evidence that people are actually being paid. They're agents of influence. There are also cases where the Islamic Republic has infiltrated some of the boards at big social media companies in order to silence people or deflect algorithms, like the Russians and Chinese may also have done.